Hey, what's up? Back again, making another video for you. Another top 10. You know, summertime is here. Getting really hot right now. Most lists you'll see are about, top hottest women around this time. Hottest women in film, hottest women in video games, hottest animated women. I'm going to do a little something different. I'm going to do the top 10 coolest women. Coolest animated women. Coolest animated women in either the cartoons or in video games, as long as the person isn't real. So, let's start this thing off. Number 10 is Black Cat from Spider-Man. I was a fan of the Black Cat in the 90s cartoon. I thought she was very interesting. She was a thief. She wanted to do good, but didn't really know how to. Kind of a lost ideas of what's good and what's bad, especially with her dad being a cat burglar. And she was identifiable in the sense that she was somebody who didn't want to do bad things, but kind of was put in a situation where she felt she had to. And she was very relatable. She was very interesting. Felicia Hardy was very interesting, I thought. I liked her portrayal in the Spider-Man cartoon. Even in the comics as well, she's also been a very interesting character. And I mentioned in a previous video that I wanted a second Web of Shadows game. She was the coolest female character in that whole game. So I would like to see another Web of Shadows game. Gotta bring back Black Cat. She was very cool, and I really enjoyed her character. Very interesting. Number 9 on my list is Rogue from the X-Men. This woman was an ass kicker. She took no nonsense. Really cool. Pretty cool accent. Southern Belle style. But she was very vulnerable in a sense that because of her mutability, she couldn't touch anyone for fear of draining their life in a sense. And in the 90s cartoon, they even showed her backstory of how she put Miss Marvel into a coma because she held on to her for too long. And that was something that haunted her. And you could see the vulnerability in her. This is the kind of thing I kind of find cool. What is the contrast? The no nonsense, fighter, ass kicking, but kind of a vulnerable side too. That makes her more of a complete person, a complete character, and I think that's pretty cool. Not to mention, she was always hanging out with Gambit, and Gambit was my boy back in the day with the X-Men cartoon, so she was always cool with me. Number 8 on my list is Chun-Li from the Street Fighter games. A lot of people consider her the first lady of fighting games. I thought she was pretty cool. If you look at her backstory, she was a cop trying to infiltrate, or trying to take down, I should say, Shadow Lu, led by M. Bison, or Vega if you want to go by his original name. I found her pretty interesting, and her abilities in each game kind of varied, which kind of made it interesting, I thought, is that she never played the same, so you knew you had to relearn her skills. You had to work at it to make her a great fighter. You can't just spam the same moves over and over again in game to game to game. So I think that's pretty cool. I like her backstory, and even in the Street Fighter movie, not the live action one, the animated one, I thought she was interesting, and she definitely is a cool character. Not as cool as some of the other people on my list. Now, number 7 is Shinobu from No More Heroes. I've mentioned before about how I wanted a No More Heroes 3. Shinobu was very interesting. The first game you fight against her, and you get a small glimpse into her background about how someone killed her father, possibly with a beam katana. We never find out who, but she's one hell of a fighter in that game. She was pretty tough to go from like Death. The number 10 was Death. Sorry. Well, I forget all the names. But anyways, you have a sword, a giant axe fighter in a sense, and a guy using guns. Then you fight somebody, Shinobu, who uses a katana. The first two were kind of either brawlers or try to keep you at a distance with their guns. Where she was quick, she was fast, she had really interesting moves, and especially when you get to the harder difficulties, she was a fighter that you had to really take your time on. You couldn't just bum rush her in the game. And I think that's what made her such a worthy foe in that game. And in the second one, she comes back as a playable character, and you see that she grew to care about Travis. She has affection for him. He was the one that set her on the path to better herself, and she becomes even better. And you kind of grow with her a bit. She kind of starts to grow on you in the second game. I like how she plays in the second game because she's not exactly like Travis. She's different, and you have to adjust your play style when you're fighting as Shinobu. I would really like for her to come back in the third No More Heroes game, and hopefully they do give us that. Now, number 6 on my list is Jasmine from Aladdin. Now, she's probably my favorite Disney princess because she's spunky, she's got a bit of an attitude, she doesn't really go with the flow, and she speaks her mind. I think that's cool. She doesn't take crap from people. You know, the only thing that holds her back is that she came at a time where Disney princesses were wanting more, and it felt like at times that she kept on wanting more. It's like, what else do you need? She seems kind of jumbled in a sense, but she was still cool. I do enjoy the movie a lot. Aladdin and the Genie are still the cooler characters, but Jasmine, I think, was cool. She didn't take the same crap that you see a lot of Disney princesses take at that point in time. So it was really interesting to see her act the way she did. And so she definitely, to me, deserves a spot on this list. So that's part 1. I got part 2 coming up. And so be on the lookout for that. Until then, take care and stay cool.